Hey y'all, here I'm back with another video on a review for Manifest Season 2, Episode 10. Alright, so this episode was a little cute. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to break this down pretty much by like storyline, because as y'all know, Manifest is a very complex show, and don't worry, I'm going to bring it all home. Alright, so I want to start off with everything that happened with Michaela and Jared. So as y'all remember, last episode, you know what happened with Michaela and her going to the boss or whatever and telling, about Jared working with the Xers. So, when we start this episode, you see her leaving the house or whatever. She spoke to Zeke or whatever, they being all cute and shit. And then she leaves and she comes to the police to the station. Now, when she comes to the station, she could see that internal affairs or whatever is in the captain's office. And then you see Jared, and Jared's like pulling her to the side, like, what are you doing? Like, I don't understand why you're doing this for. And she's like, pretty much, Jared, you gave me no choice. You gave me no choice when you turned on me. How about that? So she goes in there. Whatever she goes, she sits down with internal affairs. And as soon as she sits down, they do the typical, so you're here on your own admission. You don't want a union rep, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm just here to say what it is that I got to say. So she doesn't even really get into telling them what happened with Jared, because they go the fuck in questioning her about her cases. You see a stack of files. They're like, oh, well, we need to know how is it that you was able to figure out some of these cases, like with the people, in the very first season, when the very first call-in they got with the kids being stuck, not the kids, but the woman and the child being stuck in the backyard of some barn. And then they brought up the bank, and they just brought up every little situation. And she's just sitting here. Let me tell you how mad every single scene of that was pissing me off, because they was really trying to get my good girl, my good Judy, but y'all wasn't going to get her. Y'all was pissing her off, and it was pissing me off too, because as she said, we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about Jared, okay? And so it got to the point where, like, I want to say maybe, honestly, as soon as they brought up her cases, I would have off top stopped them right there and been like, I want my rep. But she kind of let it go on for a little bit, and then she got her rep and stuff like that. Called her rep came out or whatever. Now, during all of this, Jared goes into the office and talks to the boss as well. Now, remember how I told y'all last episode, I've been telling y'all that the boss is in on this shit with Jared. She's in it. She doesn't know the full extent, but she's in it. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm helping my best friend plan her baby shower. It's a lot going on right now. So I told y'all she was in on it, because he went in there to go and talk to her and was like, well, what's going on? Like, I'm gonna get in trouble. And she's like, what else do you want me to do? I have to play this by the book. You knew how this was gonna go. Okay, all right. So then a little bit later, you see he goes and he finds Simon. Simon is, the guy who's been doing all of the little preachings and stuff, the Xers, but he also apparently is affiliated somehow with the government. So he goes over and he talks to Jared, talks to Simon, and he's like, this is going like too far, like what's going on? Like, I'm gonna get in trouble. And he's like, you're not gonna get in trouble, don't worry. We got friends that's gonna have your back. But at the end of the day, what you need to know is that the Xers, they have telepathy, and they can see the future, okay? And that's probably why she was able to do everything it is that she was able to do. And this is our worst fear. So you want to know what? You ain't even got to worry about it, because we going to handle her. We want Michaela. That's who we want. That's what we want, okay? So don't worry about it. We going to get her ass. And he's like, all right, man, whatever. But in the back of his mind, he's tripping the fuck out like, oh, y'all try to get my boo-boo. Y'all try to get my boo thing. All right, whatever. So then we switch back over to Michaela, and her lawyer is now there, and they're talking with the people, and again they keep accusing her and all this other stuff. And so the lawyer is telling her like, you need to stop saying stuff like, stop talking, we're good. So eventually, after they take a break and they come back in, and she kind of calms down, she's like, look, whatever it is that y'all want to know, I will tell y'all. And so at this point, the Internal Affairs is kind of like, all right, so go ahead, give us what you know. And then I think the attorney was like, no, we can't do that here. We have to go somewhere else, because if she tells, what if somebody overhears her? That's the officer telling the officer, and that's going to be issue. So we're going to meet up in like an hour to a disclosed place, okay? Girl, we get to the freaking end of the episode, and Jared is pretty much putting two and two together. He gets back to the precinct, and he sees Michaela's lawyer who was actually an exer. He was at one of the last meetings that they had, and he started putting two and two together. That girl was not gonna make it. Like he said, he's like, she's not gonna make it to wherever it is that they're going. So he made the bold ass decision, I'm gonna arrest her right now. He went up, put her in handcuffs, and Michaela going all crazy like, what are you doing, da, 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 da. Those her in the cell. He's like, shut your mouth, because I just saved your life. I said, that's right, I know that's right, Jared. You better save your Boosie. You better save her, because they really was about to knock her smooth off. She wasn't about to get to no conference room. They was going to knock that girl smooth off, and he knew it, and I'm here for it, okay? So that's kind of like what's going on right now with Michaela and Jared, all right? So then we're going to kind of get into Cal. Well, Cal and Ben and Olive and everybody else. Okay, so Cal, we haven't seen him in a minute. That's, he's my heart. I love him so much. We haven't seen him in a minute, but he's back now this episode. He was sleeping, gets up or whatever. Well, in his dream, he has the dream again that he's been having in the past, which is when everything kind of happened with the plane, how there was like a really, really bright light, how he could see it. He looks out the window, he sees the bright light. He's like, it's all connected. He gets up, he looks out the window, you know, and it's all kind of like stormy and stuff. So the next morning comes. I thought that when his mama came into the room, I thought he was going to be gone, but he wasn't. He was sitting on the floor, and, you know, he was trying to make something. They're like, you know, whoa, like, what is it that you're trying to make? And she's like, I don't know. I can't explain what it is, but, you know, it came from a call-in, but he didn't know how to explain it. He just had to do it. So he's putting stuff together, and also you could tell that, damn it, I forgot the wife's name, but you know, the wife / mom, she's kind of like going through it a little bit. You can kind of see like she's not feeling too well either. So meanwhile, you know, we got TJ talking to Ben or whatever, them talking and him just thanking him, and then Olive comes up. You know, TJ pretty much feels really kind of guilty about the fact that he was the only one that lived out of everybody else. So then, you know, Olive kind of comes up and like, look, we're not wasting no more time. I'm not wasting no more time about this whole situation. Like, let's look at this journal. Let's go through it. So, you know, they open up the book and stuff, and they're going through the journal, and TJ's reading the journal. And in one of the pictures you see, it's kind of like a ship. Then you see like a flash, like kind of like a lightning in the sky. And then you see literally a gray, like silver dragon, which is what was described by the guy in the journal. So TJ pretty much reads in there like to the effect of like every time like there's a calling, there's a trial. So pretty much saying like for every good calling that we do or good calling that happens, there has to be something bad that happens behind it. At least that's how he was reading it. And so TJ started to go a little bit and saying like, no, something bad's gonna happen because I wasn't supposed to live, so I don't know, something bad's gonna happen. So then we switch over back to Cal, and Cal is, you know, still making stuff, but he is snapping. Like, I really wanted to beat his ass because I love him, but he was acting bad as hell. Like, he needed like a whooping or something like that. Yeah, the police is hot today because it's actually nice outside. And if you live in the north, you know, once it get hot, it be booming out here. But anyway, so yeah, but he was acting like a little brat. He's acting like a little brat, and so you know, they're like, he's like, I can't figure it out. So Ben goes back into the kitchen, and then, you know, with his wife and TJ and Olive, and Cal comes back in the room, like, kind of snapping out or whatever, and the mom is like, look, don't worry, once the storm calms down, we'll be good, because mind you, it's raining, like, during this whole time. And Olive was like, what storm? And she's like, the rain, the thunder, the storm. She's like, she goes outside, opens it, it's clear as hell. She's like, there is no storm. It's a motherfucking car. Let me tell you, NBC, y'all are doing this show correctly. I mean, I love the show Lost, but at some point in time, Lost just stopped making sense very early on. Manifest, although it is like delving into sci-fi, it's still very realistic, and I love the way that they're blending stuff in here. But okay, anyway, that was like such a subtle thing that they added that I thought was awesome. Anyway, so come to find out, there is really no storm outside. It is a calling that everybody in the house is having, okay? So, so as time goes on, you know, it seems like, after the storm, it's other little stuff that's starting to happen. So, like, Ben and TJ are sitting there, and it looks like a pin is starting to roll, and the mama is seeing stuff kind of shift and move, and Cal is seeing stuff shift and move, and Olive was like, you guys are seeing stuff that's not there. Like, it's not just the storm. You're literally seeing stuff that's not there. Like, y'all are literally, I think, like, y'all going insane. And when I keep reading the journal, it says in there that the men that was on board of the ship, a lot of them threw themselves overboard to kind of stop the Collins because they were literally going insane. So that's exactly what was happening. That's why Kyle was acting like a little brat, because he was going insane. That's why TJ was being so aggressive, because he was literally, everybody was going the fuck mad because of these damn Collins, and it just won't fucking stop, okay? So eventually they end up putting the whole little thing together that Kyle was trying to make, and it pretty much kind of looks like the wind, like kind of like the outline of a boat, kind of sort of. So when they do that, the column becomes clear, so everybody sees the column. I mean TJ, then is her name Grace? Maybe it's Grace, and then Kyle. They all kind of see the column clear, which is they're all on a boat, and it's like a really, really rough storm and stuff. And you look up and you see a plane going by, and then the column kind of ends. When I'm telling you, the fact that I seen that plane go by, and then they said the Silver Dragon, I said, oh, bitch. That's what they meant. That's what he meant when he said a Silver Dragon. It wasn't a Silver Dragon, girl. It was the airplane. So let me tell you, wait, anything else I got going on? Okay, so this is my whole thing. So this is what I'm thinking, because I started to think I lost a little bit. So I'm thinking, not only we're dealing with some time traveling type of stuff, because that's what I always kind of thought it had a little bit to do in there, but it wasn't always clear. But this shows to me that there has something to do with time travel. If y'all ever seen like Deja Vu, the movie with Denzel Washington and Paula Patton, that will explain a lot. That's pretty much exactly what I think. I think the paths somewhere in the timeline got crossed, and literally not like that they were in purgatory, but they kind of were like in a vacuum of time, or time and space that technically is there, but other people don't really get to experience. In some way, somehow they kind of flew through that little itty bitty time, and that's how the two paths was. I don't know, but that's not theory. It's something to do with time travel, y'all. It's something to do with time travel, and it's also something to do with timelines crossing. Like, you know how in some movies, like, they tell you if you go back and you time travel to not touch anything because it'll mess up what happens in the future. Kind of something like that. But that blew my damn mind. But anyway, we're going to get right back to that. So let's turn over to the doctor real fast. So Zeke goes back to the doctor because remember, he was kind of like having, he kind of like freezing from the outside. No. Yeah, he's freezing to death. That's pretty much what's going on. So he went to the doctor to go and start the treatments and stuff that she's been doing. Because remember, ever since the doctor did the treatment to herself, she no longer has the Collins. And if y'all remember specifically, when it happened, everything went in reverse. And it kind of like, bing, went away. And she said she hadn't had them in weeks. However, when he gets there, my good sister's tripping. She's really, really jumpy. She is forgetting things. She literally grabbed the serum, put it on the table, and then 2 seconds later said she didn't know where it was. And that would have stopped me right there. He's crazy for letting her go any further. Like, I know what she said, but I'm sorry. Once I seen that, I would have been like, girl, because he did say, I don't think that we should do it. No, you shouldn't have did it. So then they go through with it a little bit, but then as time goes on throughout the day, he can see that she's really becoming unhinged. Like he said, we've had the same conversation 5 times back to back now. Like, you need to go to emergency room, you need to go get some help. And she's like, no, if they find out, which is true, if they find out that I was in here testing myself, like, that's pretty much my career. It's a wrap. That's very true. So he's like, who can I call? So of course you gotta go call her boo. So he went, called her boo, got the boo come or whatever, and pretty much says like there's a really, really high level of dopamine that's kind of making her go a little bit insane. So this is my question. Okay, no, never mind. We'll keep going. But she gave her something to kind of like counterbalance, and they kind of came down. And then later on, we see at the very end, back to the house, Ben and TJ, I think it's Ben and TJ, they're looking at the journal, and in their reading, it's pretty much saying like, this is at least how I interpret it. If you are like fighting the callings versus just accepting them and going with it, then there's gonna be backlash for that. And then they started to think about the doctor and how she's pretty much got rid of the callings within herself, but she's also continuously trying. That is gonna be a backlash. There's gonna be backlash for that. Now I'm thinking, now my question is, when she was going all mad, was it just because of the stuff, or was it tied into the fact that everybody else at the house was going mad as well. Like, I wonder, was it connecting that way? Or no, is it just the simple fact that you trying to get rid of the Collins and the bigger force is like, we're not here for it, so we're about to make your life a living hell until so. But anyway, at the end you can see, like, it's like a whole bunch of like souls you can kind of see like in the picture at the bottom. And sure enough, one of them faces definitely looked like her. My good sis might be gone already. I don't even know if we could save her. I don't know. But yeah, y'all tell me what y'all think. I kind of blew through that for real. Y'all tell me exactly what y'all think about what was going on. Like I said, I really think that it has something to do with time travel. That's why I brought up Lost before, because I feel like it has something to do with time travel and timelines being crossed. But I'm very excited to see, you know, what's next and stuff like that. I'm very excited to see what Jared's gonna do. Well, not with Jared, but more so what Michaela's gonna do, and how this whole thing is gonna play out. Y'all better not kill my girl, or it's gonna be a whole issue. All right, I'm out, y'all. Bye.